Hi.
All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Facebook Live. Here we are for another event. I'm a health coach with HMR. My name is Rick. Been with HMR for a long time, and I am joined tonight by fellow health coach, Destiny. Destiny, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
It's great. Yeah, you work out of an HMR program right outside of Chicago. As we move along here, and when you're talking about yourself in a few minutes, feel free to send some kudos to people in your clinic.
Yes.
Awesome. Now you are joined by Jazy, Jenny,
Hi.
and Tony, and look at these guys. They are, people who are watching, if you read the description of this episode, those are Destiny's sister, mother, and father, respectively. How cool is that? Guys, how are you doing tonight?
Really good. Really good. Really good.
It's great. I got to say, we all talked last Friday just in anticipation of this whole event. And you guys just have a great story about making lifestyle changes with HMR. It's like truly a shared story, which is so awesome. But as intertwined as the whole story is, you all have your own story about your weight loss experience here. And we want to hear both sides of that, what it was like for you as an individual, but also how it was doing it within the family network, which is just so cool and so unique. Now, I will just say, Destiny, before we start here, in the spirit of full disclosure, you and I traded several emails, and Mom and Dad, you should be proud. I've never seen such a brilliant use of the asterisk in person.
That's homeschooling.
That's homeschooling.
That's homeschooling at its finest. Wow. Destiny, well played with the asterisk.
Thank you.
My little notes to my kids at home, I'm going to start using the whole asterisk thing. Fantastic.
When you say asterisk, you gotta pay attention to that one.
Well, listen, speaking to everyone who's watching, first of all, thank you for being here. Destiny and I will both be monitoring the comments as you hopefully offer them up. Please start typing. Let us know that you're here. We'll also both be asking questions of our guests. I'm going to be asking the questions that we all talked about, guys, last Friday. And Destiny is probably going to ask some of the questions that I don't know to ask, that I probably should be asking, just so you know. So we'll see where the whole conversation takes us here. So before we start, let me just, let me see and see if we've got, Destiny, are you able to see any of the comments? I'm just wondering if we can welcome any.
I do. I see, hi, Kelly. Hi, Amanda. And they're both from our clinic. I see Shane. Welcome.
Hi, great. Shane made it. Awesome.
Kate and my husband Zach's on. Hi, Susan. Hi, Dana. Hi, Becky, who's also in our clinic. Hi, Kathy. Love you.
Excellent. Great. All right. Well, we're going to have more and more
people
joining us as we go along here, guys. That's the kind of the nature of this. We have a lot of regulars, but we also have, as I've shared with you, people who aren't even familiar with HMR, who are just checking it out through the Facebook Live event. So we'll continue to take a break, see what people are saying in terms of their comments, and also just welcoming more people as they join. So we're going to hear from everyone here, but Destiny, I thought it made sense for us to start with you. In some ways, obviously, you are really the beginning of the chain of this family affair, the catalyst, so to speak. So if you could just take a minute, talk to the audience and share what brought you to this moment vis-a-vis HMR.
Yeah, well, I first want to say, hopefully I don't cry, because I'm looking at all of the comments and I just love my job so much. Just the type of people I get to meet and talk to, hopefully I don't cry. But so my story really started in a weird situation. So I was a personal trainer for a little bit, and this job opportunity actually came across and someone brought it up to me. And so I applied, I brought it up to my family, and my mom's like, no, stay a trainer. She's like, you're good at training, you make good money, just stay there. And I was like, well, I'll give it a try. And I actually didn't get the job the first time.
I can't imagine.
I was shocked too, but I actually got the job the first time, and I was like, all right, that's okay. I'll take a break. I'll keep training. and the job opened up again and almost just about 2 months later. So I applied again and I got it the second time, and my life has just completely changed. I'm personally keeping off 20 pounds with HMR.
Beautiful.
With Phil as my coach, your brother, who I love. Yes, yes. He is my phase 2 coach. Yeah, and so I'm just, HMR has totally changed my life. And I always say, I'm so blessed to have a job that not just only impacts me, but honestly changes the lives of my entire family. So that's kind of how it started. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Really, really good. I do finally have the comments here, Destiny, so you're not on your own there. I just want to, just a special shout out, first of all, to Kathy, who works closely with you. One of my colleagues. Hi, Kathy. So glad you're here. I also, another colleague of mine, Sean. Sean, great to have you with us here, brother. Really cool. Sandy's going to be helping me with the comments here as a fellow health coach. And then I wanted a special shout out to one of the people that I work with every week, Tuesdays, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Hey, Larry. So glad you're with us. We missed you last week, but I know you like to attend these events. So he said he's really excited to hear the story of this family losing weight with HMR guys. So let's bring it here. That's really great. And then lastly, Oshin, welcome, my friend. I'm going to get you back on this space soon enough. All right. So let's get right into it here. Destiny, thank you for sharing your experience. It's awesome. You know, you practice what you preach. That's real clear from the fact that you are in a phase 2 class yourself. You've lost 20 pounds, but you're also a health coach. It's just an awesome perspective. So bring all of that to this discussion. I want to now transition into, let's just call it, guys, the moment. Kind of sounds like a show on Netflix, The Moment. So what do you watch? I'm watching The Moment. It's awesome on Netflix.
Yeah.
The moment that had you deciding, you know what, it's time for me to make some changes. So as each of you, our guests here, are thinking about what you want to say to that, I will just ask the audience. And we like to really try to involve you in the conversation as much as possible each week. Do you remember your moment? Was there something happening in your life that had you just saying, you know what, that's it. I'm going to make some changes here. And please feel free to share that in the comments section. And we'd like to represent you here to the community. So Jazy, I'm going to start with you. So here we have, your older sister's a coach in the program. And then it's now 2018, if I have my dates right, and it's September. And you joined the program, but tell us what was going on before that. Tell us a little bit about your history leading up to that.
Yeah, so I ran cross country and track all throughout high school and college. So I was a very big athlete, never had to worry about food or weight management, just did whatever I wanted. And then I graduated and I'm not running at the collegiate level anymore, but I'm eating the same. It really turned into just like a struggle with my body. It was becoming a prison. I wasn't able to even go on like simple 2-mile hikes without it being really hard for me. And that's a complete change that I wasn't ready for. And I didn't want that to be my future. So HMR came into play, and you guys incorporate activity so much that I wasn't just dropping weight, I was becoming an athlete again.
Oh, that's awesome. So I will just say your audio is just a tiny bit muffled, Jazy. Destiny, are you picking up on that?
Yeah, I think it's your earpiece, Jazz. On Friday, you didn't use that.
Oh, sorry. I can't hear.
That's all right. Change your audio so maybe we can improve that. I'll just summarize what you just said. You were a collegiate athlete, a competitive runner, and then after you graduated, you didn't have that huge output of activity, and then life happens, right? It happens to everybody. Is that pretty much capture it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, that audio is great. Really, really good.
It was better.
Yeah. So you were gaining weight, and then just tell us a little bit. You know, we always like to revisit the idea of what was happening, like either physically or even emotionally, that had you saying, you know what, because joining a program like HMR is a big deal. So something had you say, that's it, I'm going to flip the switch here. What was it?
Yeah. I was, again, eating the same way as what I would be if I was in college running, and the stress of just finding a job after college. You turn towards food again. It's like a comfort. And there was a moment where I'd gone for a hike that day, and it was a real struggle. It was really hard for me to get out there. And I was like, why is it hard for me to go on this simple hike when I could run miles without even hurting? Like, this is not the same Jazy that I knew before.
Yeah.
So that was the big moment.
Yeah, that's intense. That sounds like a moment. We have a couple of people who've shared their moments here. Interestingly, fellow health coach Kate, I saw a picture of myself when I was a senior in college, and I had gained so much weight I didn't recognize me. Okay, me. That was my moment when I knew it was time to make some changes. So isn't that interesting? Destiny, here you are coaching the program. You're down 20 pounds, practicing the program. I weigh less than I did, certainly 12 pounds less than when I started HMR 31 years ago. And here we have Kate, a fellow health coach. And now Jazy, it's almost like a perfect sort of exclamation point to that, a former collegiate athlete who, you take away that unusual level of activity and you gain weight too. I mean, weight gain is normal. It's just normal.
Especially with our culture, if you think about it, we've got 7 through 10s constantly available. So of course, it can come so easily.
Yeah. And when you say 7s through 10s, just there might be some people who aren't like deep in the program who, we have an HMR calorie guide that covers all foods out there, all the food groups and foods within them. And we rank them 1 to 10, and the highest calorie foods, and also the ones that are hardest to stop eating. Let's be honest, Destiny. Those are the 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. It doesn't get higher than 10, though we probably should. There probably should be a reserve category for 11s and 12s, because I think the food industry is creating them as we speak.
Right.
So should we, Jenny, chronologically, I think you were next. So Jazy started in September. You started just a month after, right?
Yeah, not long after her. Yeah, and I did try to convince Destiny not to be part of the program and everything like that. And I admit I was completely wrong. And then she was like, "Oh, you got to check it out. You got to check it out." And I was like, "You worked there for a little bit. We'll see." I was kind of skeptical. But then Jasmine, who had just moved out, she just finished college, just getting started in her career, and she put her resources into this. And I saw her losing weight, but more importantly, she wasn't asking me for money to do it. She was doing it on her own. And I knew what kind of budget she was on. So I was like, there's something more to this. And so that's when I had my own goals of losing weight, but I tried so many different things. I was one of those that tried you name it, I tried it. And I failed at all of them. And so I'd been overweight for like 20 years. And so I was like kind of skeptical in that regard, but then Destiny was so sure, and that kind of just gave me that extra boost. And then when I saw Jasmine actually do it and put her money into it, I was like, maybe I should really look at this. And so it was then that I actually took it serious and was like, I want this to be the last diet program I ever do. So I figured if I just follow this system, do what they say, this will be the last time I'll have to ever do something like this again.
That is so awesome. That ultimately, that really is the goal at HMR. We almost feel like we've got the best kept secret around this whole area of lifestyle change. We want to be the last program that people ever have to do.
Yes.
Fair to say, Destiny?
Yes. I never want you to go through that moment again of having to start something all over again, go through that process again. Yeah, this is the last one for sure.
Yeah. Towards the end, guys, maybe you could start thinking about this. I'd like to, because this is such an area where people have not had a lot of hope, I'd like you to share, be thinking about what you would say about why are you hopeful going forward? Why are you hopeful that 5 years from now, you're still going to be in the driver's seat? You're still going to have your hands on the controls, so to speak. So let's save that to the end, because I kind of have a sense from our conversation on Friday that you're going to be able to bring the hope. And I think that might be a nice note to end on. So let's pause that for just a minute. I want to just share a couple of additional people, many have, I can't read them all, but people have shared additional reasons why, what the moment was for them. Wanting to come off of my diabetes medications. And then my dear Sharon, who shared this space as a guest, Sharon from California. I was turning 60 and I didn't like me. That's it. That's a pretty good reason right there. Boy, And I don't know, I'm just kind of guessing, Sharon, speaking to you directly, the pictures you've shared, how you came across. Destiny, you probably watched that video. I'm kind of guessing you kind of like yourself a lot more now. Not to put you on the spot. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, watch my interview with Sharon. She's a real spitfire, just tremendous. Oh, Larry, thank you. One more, guys. Weight sneaks up on us over time. We might be overweight most of our lives. HMR is teaching me to eat and think about foods differently. Would you guys agree with Larry in that statement?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tony, what would you say about that? Like thinking about your lifestyle choices differently.
You know, you hit it right on the head. We live our lives and we're eating a little bit here. We're putting little chips in, not thinking about it. And then we look at ourselves over gradual time. We don't notice that we put on so much weight.
Right.
You know, unless we go back and look at pictures and things. And then one day you just really look in the mirror, you realize, man, where'd all this weight come from? You know, because you don't think about it. You just, especially when you live with someone, they don't see you. I mean, because they see you every day, so they don't see that big change. So it's gradual, it's very slow. And then one day, you're me, huge. You're huge. Oh.
Yep. Yeah. How many times have I heard through the, people like walking like in a parking lot and people pick the image of themselves just in the window of a car.
Yeah.
And it's that whole, as was just said there, that's not me. That's not me.
Oh, yeah.
So that's so awesome. We're about changing that. Hey, Jenny, can I ask you, so, there's this whole family dynamic that had you deciding to lose weight. What is something right now that you are really present to that represents that all the work is worth it?
Right before I started the HMR program, I love obstacle course races, absolutely love them. I find them exciting. And I was so big that I could only do like half the obstacles. And I was kind of ashamed because I worked out hard, but there was no representation of that hard work I was doing in my abilities because I was over 60 pounds overweight. And so I just wanted to be able to, and it just was like an inner thing in me. I wanted to be able to say, no matter with a moment's notice, I could do any obstacle course race successfully. And I didn't have to have months of training. I didn't have to do anything special. It's just moment's notice I could go. And actually, when I started the program, Destiny had us write like a little note to ourselves. And I put that in the note, and then just 2-3 weeks ago was the first time that it came into fruition. I had like a 2-day notice to do a big winter obstacle course race on ski mountains and stuff. And I went for it and I did it, and it felt good. It felt good. I didn't have to.
It was actually, when I went to go, I was going to pick her up from the race because couldn't have spectators. So she said, I'm going to do it about 5 hours, just plan to pick me up in 5 hours or whatever. So I finished working out at the gym with Jazy and we're just hanging out. And it was only been like an hour and a half to 2 hours. Then I get a phone call. I'm done. I was like, what? 2 hours, holy cow. So I was very impressed with that. I was like, wow, she knocked it out that fast.
Yeah. Incredible. Just incredible. I do want to keep representing our community of people who are watching you and being inspired. And one of our regulars, a real top fan, Bob.
Yeah.
He shared his moment and where it was at for him before he lost weight. And Bob has just done an extraordinary job in the program. So here's what he said about pre-HMR. I hated myself so much before HMR that I thought death would be better than the way I was living.
Wow.
Well over 500 pounds.
Wow.
So my point to you guys about hope, and that there's so much hope and so much possibility here.
Discovered your best self yet.
Yeah. So let's keep bringing it. So in a moment, I'm going to show some pictures of you guys, but Destiny, let me just ask if there's any comments that you've seen that you want to represent.
Yes, I do have a comment that I want to represent, and it's just someone from our clinic sharing his story on his moment. And he said, my moment was when I was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis about 3 years ago. As I sought out information regarding how I got it and what could be done, we learned that that management of weight can be very beneficial. I needed to do something to improve my prognosis, so I joined HMR with my wife. almost 1 year ago. Now in their 70s, 70 pounds later, he's off some medication and his pulmonary health is better than it was when he was first diagnosed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations. What an accomplishment.
Congratulations, Dan.
Oh, wow.
Way to go. Way to go. Way to take the reins.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Really, really great. Such an inspiring story to hear that. I want to say hi to Gina. Hey, Gina. Thanks for joining us. Fellow health coach Gina, always on this space on Thursday nights. And also to Dana, one of our real regulars. She's here every week, just contributing and just bringing her experience to the community. Thanks, Dana, for being here. Tony, I want to ask you to sort of talk about the moment, shall we say, and then I'll show a picture, some pictures of you guys, just for you guys to maybe just off the top of your head, just riff. What does that mean to you? The pre and post pictures. So Tony, you were watching this. You were the last one, shall I say?
Most stubborn.
Last one to fall in line. Yeah. So first of all, before what it was like for you, just your own experience of your quality of life, maybe some weight gain and whatnot. What was it like watching all of this with your family doing this HMR thing?
I'm that guy that I can do it. I can do it better. Oh, you guys do that. That's good. I'm gonna go over here and eat some chips. I can work this off at the gym. Then watching them, it was I don't know. I was just watching them do it, and I didn't think too much about it. I really didn't. They were doing their thing with the weight loss, and I was just thinking, honestly, another thing. Here's another thing. We tried so many things. Here's another thing.
Sure.
Just watching it happen.
Yeah. So was it a pure, unadulterated peer pressure thing that got you?
And tell them about your black belt ceremony.
What's that? That's it.
Black belt.
Tell us about your black belt ceremony thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to, like all the peer pressure home was fine, but it wasn't really that big. But I went to Iowa State to our black belt reunion. So we're all out there, all the black belts from back in the day. We're getting together, show off how studly we are. And my old instructor, he says, "Oh, Tony, you're so fat." Oh my gosh. So we're sitting there, we're talking the weekend, and he wanted me to test for, higher ranks and this stuff. And then I'm listening to him as he's talking to me. I'm thinking, that's awesome. Outside, I'm saying that, but inside, I'm thinking, I can't even move that way anymore. What do you mean? I'm thinking, it was almost like a panic going on. And so after it was over and stuff, and my buddy, Tony, his name is Tony also, Anthony, we drove down together. And so we were driving back, and I said, dude, listen, we need to call Destiny right now. So I called Destiny on the way back and made an appointment for her. She said, well, I have these meetings on this day and this day and this. No. I need you to meet as soon as we get back. So she came over to the gym. She gave us a presentation. And I was just like, all right, I'm doing it, And so we jumped on the bandwagon and we went through our house and we literally got rid of all our food in the house, all our liquor, got rid of everything, gave it to family members, everything. And it was all HMR products from there on. It was literally all, because Destiny says, more is better. And I love to eat, of course. And she's more is better. And I said, well, you know what? What if I get hungry after eating my prescription she gives, with the X amount of shakes, X amount of meals? And I said, well, what if I get hungry? And her answer was, Dad, eat more. And I'm like, are you serious? And she's like, no, more is better. And I put it to the test. I was wolfing down 6, 7, 8 meals a day, chasing them with shakes, and the weight was just falling off. So I was blown away.
I have a question for you guys. How long did it take for you to lose your weight, and how much did you each lose?
I lost 40 pounds in 6 weeks, Destiny, was it?
40, 45. In fact, he lost so fast. That's how you know he was in the box. He lost so fast that I actually called Kathy, who's near and dear to my heart. I called Kathy and I'm like, I don't know how to handle this. Is he good to go to phase 2? Like, it was happened so quickly.
Yeah, 40. Can we just stop on that for a minute? 40 pounds in 6 weeks. Is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
About 2 months. Yeah, a little under 2 months.
Wow. And just to underscore what you just said, Tony, I mean, that is rapid weight loss. Fortunately, you were getting at least the minimums in, just so nutritionally it was safe weight loss. But say a little bit more about, so the more is better, and just bear with me. I just want to, for people who are less familiar with HMR, we had a question earlier in the comments, Destiny. What are the 7s through 10s of which you speak? So that's why I explained it. So we have a very counterintuitive concept in HMR, and this really is the best kept secret in weight loss, right?
Yes.
Or it's better. So we have what we call the weight loss box, and the foods in that box have so few calories per ounce.
Yeah.
And when you prepare them, the way the HMR foods can be prepared, along with fruits and vegetables, if you add that into your plan, you get a lot of food by volume and by weight, by actual weight in your stomach, but not a lot of calories. So by giving yourself permission to eat more of the foods in the box, it actually helps you avoid the temptations, resist the temptations of the foods that are calling your name from outside the box, which will slow down your weight loss. And so by being in the box, it's like this simple rule: stay in the box. Eat as much as you want, but stay in the box. So, okay, so that's sort of when we say more is better, we sort of hammer that point in the program, because we know that that insulation you get from the temptations is what keeps the weight loss going. So Tony, just a little bit more from you on that, because you talked about this a lot last Friday.
Yeah, it's just because I like to eat. I've said that before. And we've tried all these restrictive diets. You can only drink water. You can smell this. You can't eat it. You know, all those crazy diets. Which was just, you know, it doesn't work. They don't work long term. They work fast, but they won't work long term. But follow this program, and I kept asking. I would bug Destiny, so I can eat as much of this stuff as I want. And her answer was, yeah, just eat what you want. And I stayed in that box. I didn't miss anything. I just ate. Even when I wasn't hungry, I was just like, nah, I'm gonna eat something else, you know, because I can do it, you know. And it helped a lot because it killed those cravings. I didn't feel restricted at all. I feel like I could eat whatever I want. The meals were all the meals were so, it was a variety of all these meals.
Yeah.
So you can mix them together. You can do all these things. So you weren't limited to just eating, what's those things? Rice cakes.
Yeah.
I tried that diet before. No, that didn't last well. The rice cakes, but this one, well, it worked very well because it just killed all the hunger. I could eat anything I want.
And it was the convenience. So all the like talking about the 7 through 10s, they're basically all convenience foods. And we run a couple of businesses, so we were busy. So especially at night, we would order in all the time. You know, just because we were tired, we needed the convenience. So the beauty of the program was the convenience. What used to be a 7 through 10 convenience now was a healthy convenience. And so it was right there. It was fast. It was easy. It tasted good. You know, it just it took away the excuses. So it was easier to stay in the box.
Yeah. I don't know if we make that point enough about how convenience drives everything, doesn't it?
Yes, oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Honestly, I mean, whether we like to think of that or not, I mean, sitting there taking forever to make your diet foods is a non-starter if you've got your life going on. So, yeah. What else would you guys add, Jenny, Jazy, about the whole permission to eat when you wanted to, as opposed to what diets typically propose, which is this whole restrictive, just learn to be hungry approach? Jenny, anything else you'd add to what Tony said?
You know what? It was that mindset you go into when you hear restrictive right away. Your body kind of like, oh, I crave it. As soon as you tell me not to have it, I crave it. And this is where I think was part of the behavior modification aspect of HMR, which I think differentiates it a lot, is you didn't feel like I have to have it because I'm not going to have it again, you know, things like that. It was more of like saying yes to things when every other diet was about saying no to things.
Yeah.
So it just changed my whole viewpoint. I was like, instead of being so negative and feeling like I'm being deprived, I was like, oh, I can say yes to this. I can say yes to this. I can say yes to this. And it made it a more pleasant experience, to be perfectly honest. Just the diet alone, a more pleasant experience.
It's great. It's great. I mean, just think of how you just said that, Jenny. You know, speaking to people in the audience who may not be that familiar with HMR. So here's your choice. You can have a diet where you have to learn to say no, or a diet where you can say yes to food. I mean, it's a no-brainer. But again, it's so many people come to the program and they've never heard this philosophy. In fact, in some ways, culturally, it's ingrained, the idea of you're going to have to learn to just learn to be hungry if you're going to hope to have any success at all. It's just not true.
No.
Not true. Jazy, what would you add? Anything to this?
Yeah, as I'm in my early 20s, so doing this diet while my friends are still going out, we're still having parties, hanging out. I did healthy solutions, so I had fruits and vegetables in mind, and just knowing that I'd have to hurry up, make sure I ate everything or less than or whatever. I could just bring whatever I wanted to eat out of my HMR box, and wherever I went, I could make fun meals out of it. I even combined some of the meals and made it for them for parties, and they never were the wiser. It just tasted good. But I never felt guilty whenever I ate it when I was out with friends.
I'm wondering, for all of you, I'm just channeling a question here from Shane in the comments section. So Shane has been a co-host in here. He's also a program member. He's also someone who's now teaching classes and is helping people lose weight in the program that he attends. How far-reaching of an impact has your tremendous success had, or not, with friends, family, acquaintances? Have any of you felt the impact? Go ahead.
I was gonna say quite a few of our gym members have gone on to be successful through HMR as well.
Yeah.
You know, at least like 12, 13
Wow.
have completed all the way through phase 2, and some are still in the program and in phase 2. And so it's really nice because it works so well because we're so much about physical activity, and HMR does a beautiful job of realizing the importance of that in order to create a quality of life that it just works perfectly, you know?
Yeah. So actually, I said I want to show the pictures that I had mentioned I would show. You guys, one of the themes from our conversation last Friday is like a vitality around the exercise, which it really came through, and it came through with each of you. So give me a minute here. And I'm just going to jump right to.
While he's doing that, you guys actually have a comment from someone in the gym, and they said, from Robin, they have definitely changed my life.
Oh,
and
Robin's awesome.
In phase 2. Yeah,
he's in my
Robin. We love you, girl.
That's
she
great.
was in my class, phase 1.
Destiny, before I show any photos, are there any other comments you want to share, or should I go to the photos?
No, so many people sharing their stories, people saying how inspiring you guys are and how fun your stories are. HMR program put rice cakes equals eating air. So that was fun.
That's true. That is true. That is true.
That's great. Yeah.
Like that.
All right, here we go. So let me just real quick here. Destiny, can you see that? Just want to make sure I'm sharing my screen.
Yep, I see Jazy.
Yeah, so Jazy, so just real quick pre-post, and then I'm going to come back to the exercise when all three of you are on the screen. So just any thoughts there? Just what comes to mind for you as you see this pre-post picture?
Yes, the picture on the left was my sister's wedding. And I remember going dress shopping, and I was so nervous to show my arms because I was like, this isn't who I am. This is a big event. It's going to be memorialized forever. Just the process of going dress shopping is something that's going to keep me moving forward, going forward.
Yeah, really good. You look so lit up and just really self-expressed there on the right. Fantastic.
That's Jazy.
Like more confident, right? Yeah.
Let me jump to the next one here. So Jenny, what comes to mind for you when you see the pre? Look at you, what a warrior, doing the events beforehand, but now down 60 pounds and really reaching just another level of fitness. What are your thoughts when you look at this picture?
You know what? There was so many thoughts. The one the current one, that's who I always have been, and it was hidden underneath all of the extra weight. So I wasn't able to be who I really am. You know, I love being athletic. I love the challenge of races. I love the hard parts. And so when the easy parts became my hard parts, that's when I knew I had to do something different.
Wow.
You know? And so now I can actually put that effort into the hard parts and getting through the big obstacles. And it opened my mind to so many more things that I can overcome simply because I was able to overcome with the weight loss. And it's exciting to me. It's like I got a whole nother lease on life. Like now's the fun part of life. Now it was fun beginning. You know, I get to chase after dreams that I've always thought about, but never had the ability to do.
Well said. Really great. You know, that we've heard that comment so much, haven't we, Destiny? The whole missed me. I didn't like me. The real me wasn't, manifesting in my life. And you just said it again, Jenny. That's really awesome. And for those of you who are watching, you know, if you have any acknowledgments that you want to make in the comments section, that'd be great. Patricia, thank you. Jenny, what she wrote was, wow, all caps, exclamation point. Jenny, that is all caps, incredible. You are a rock star.
There's comments saying you're a warrior. People are saying, way to go, Jazy, such great work. It makes me a little emotional because I just think about like, man, what if HMR wasn't in our lives? Like,
That's true, yeah.
such a blessing and so beautiful.
Her picture there, you see, it's just what we were talking earlier. You never know the weight you put on. You don't think about it. And I see this picture, I'm like, wow, this blows me away.
Yeah.
It blows me away, man.
Destiny, I see an awesome comment from Nicole. Nicole, thanks for this one. She was basically saying paraphrasing what you just said, Jenny. When the easy parts become the hard parts, that resonates. Well said. You know, implying, you know, time for a change. Really, really amazing.
I'd like to highlight another comment from your guys' gym, Samantha. She said, they changed my life for sure. I thought I was doing well till I met them. True inspiration.
Aw, we love you, Sam. You're awesome.
Tony, let me put your pre-post up, and then I'm going to just come back to the exercise. So here you are. So what, by the way, when I talked to Shane earlier today, again, co-host many times, and he and I had done a grilling episode. I said, hey, do you have any questions that you think I should ask the Joneses? And he's like, yeah, I think you should talk to Tony about what kind of grill he uses. He hadn't seen this picture, but we did a whole grilling episode. Shane is like a grill master.
Oh, yeah.
So we joked about,
all charcoal. No gas, no propane.
So you look great. You look great, Tony. What comes to mind as you look at this pre-post here right in this moment?
First thing that comes to mind when I see that, I just think, man, I am sexy. Wow. Blows me away.
And humble.
Very humble, very humble. You know, actually looking at that, it just reminds me, like Jenny was saying, it's that old me again. You know, it's what I used to be. Because once again, looking at the guy at the grill, you never notice when you get that big. You know what I mean? You just never notice. So used to eating and just nibbling, and your nibblings become more and more, and just there you are. You know,
yep.
I'm enjoying who I am again. I enjoy seeing me again. You know, like Jenny was saying, I enjoy seeing me again.
Fantastic. So Katie, who helps me with all of these events, helps all of us. We had called this event informally "Keeping Up with the Joneses." I'd say that we formally change it to "Bringing Back the Sexy." What do you guys think?
Yes, I love it.
Sounds great.
Yes.
Probably get a lot more hits that way.
Right.
Dad, Shane said, yes, charcoal, the man.
Right. Charcoal.
That's fantastic.
And then HMR says, bringing sexy back.
Exactly.
So, okay, last photo, and then we're all going to come back on screen here. So here we are. Here you guys are. And again, I want to just come back to that physical activity point that I had made. It just struck me just how vital the exercise component, the active changes that you had made, kind of bringing back the real you. It just was a theme across each of you here. So let me just ask you, again, I'm thinking about people who are watching who may not be at the top of their game with their exercise yet. No ceilings here. None. You can do whatever you want in the program if you're willing to partner with us on this. So Jazy, let me start with you. How does physical activity help you with your whole weight management, your whole sort of keeping the right mindset, et cetera?
Yeah, well, it really honestly helps with me mentally, helps me focus on just the day that I have in front of me, but also my step-by-step process of maintaining weight. Because when I'm looking to have an active lifestyle, I can't do it by not being active. And so this program really helped incorporate that into growing into a new kind of athlete than I was before.
That's great. That's great. It's at some point we'll have to have a whole episode talking about there are obvious physical benefits from becoming more active and exercising. But I know for me personally, and you just said it, Jazy, I would say for me personally, the emotional, psychological benefits actually supersede the physical.
Yeah.
So that could be an interesting discussion to have at some point in this space. Tony, what about you? Go ahead, Justin.
No, I just saw a really nice comment that was a question, and the question was, any tips for newbies?
Stay in the box. No, don't make excuses. Don't rationalize. Stay in the box. Literally. Listen to your coaches. Stay in the box. It's simple. I know it sounds simple. It really is. Stay in that box. If they say it, do it. Don't make any other. Well, I want to go to this party. I think if I have just this, is it okay? Stay in the box. Well, I got a birthday to go to. Have some cake. Stay in the box. I'm telling you. That's the secret, right?
And not stay in the box feeling deprived and angry and hungry, but back to
more is better.
Huge 20 minutes ago.
Strategies. You always
and
find
great
strategies.
recipes for cakes, sweets, and whatever they have to do with all the pancakes and all that stuff.
Explore the abundance that's available to you in the box.
Yeah.
There is so much variety and so much abundance. You can be full, and if you can have variety and abundance and not feel deprived, it literally flips a switch in your brain.
It really does.
It becomes like, I can't do this, to, you know what, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this.
I agree. We did it through a lot of the holidays. I mean, we did it through Christmas, Thanksgiving, our anniversary, Valentine's Day, New Year's. We did it through all those. And Destiny used to tell us all the time, she's like, this is the only New Year's that you're gonna have to be in the box. Yeah. You know, this is the only Christmas that you have to be in the box. And we still had like a phenomenal Christmas. We still had, none of us remember it as, oh, we were deprived this Christmas. No. This is the Christmas that we didn't have anything. No, she found, gave us great strategies, and she found recipes for like HMR pancakes, things like that, that we were able to feel like, oh, we're having pancakes like we always had pancakes, you know? And so I think that's a big part of it, is understanding and utilizing your coaches and utilizing the class, which is so helpful. Because then you can hear everybody else's strategies too, and it made all the difference, you know, for us, you know?
Huge difference.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about that family commitment that you guys made to stay in the box during holidays, through New Year's, et cetera. So, but I just have to say that Tony, in terms of bringing the sexy back, Margaret said, we knew Tony would say something like that. So good. So
it asked, is Destiny keeping off weight? I am keeping off 20 pounds with HMR. I have Coach Bill, his brother, is actually my phase 2 coach.
That's my big brother. That's right. We've both been here for more than 30 years.
Yeah. You know, that's cool about the HMR coaches. They're literally doing the same thing. So they understand the struggles that you may have. So when you go to the weekly meetings, or they're living with you. They're going through the same thing you're going through. So they can answer all your questions. So it's not just throwing platitudes. Oh yeah, I know how you feel, but do this. They're living it. It's pretty cool. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, Tony. We have since we started HMR, we have held role modeling. Practice what we ask you to do. Practicing what we preach. We've held role modeling as a company value. It's a value in our company because, first of all, we're healthier because of it. The selfish reason, but you know, that's who you want, helping you, someone who's doing what you ask them to do. So our coaches practice what we preach. I will also say that our coaches, I have yet to meet one who hasn't made a career change to do this work, much like you, Destiny. You know, I was an engineer and now I do this work. You know, you just go right down the list across the country. So anyway, it's an awesome thing to say. The whole idea of being a role model is just such an effectiveness edge in this work, and clearly you guys appreciate that. So the person who asked any advice, we're going to probably end a little bit later with that question. Is there any advice that you would give to people watching that you would have appreciated when you were newer to HMR? So just be thinking about that. I would like to just go a little bit more into this whole story of you guys making the commitment to be in the box as a family, from Thanksgiving through the holidays, New Year's. For some of you, Valentine's, for one of you, the anniversary, but actually it ended up being both of you. So first of all, was there a leader in this? Was this just destiny bringing down the hammer, or was it who decided, hey guys, we're going to like be really creative here and as a family be in the box? What's the story behind this?
I would say honestly, Destiny gave us advice to do it, because we're going through that process anyway. So there's no, I'm gonna be in a box now, but you know what? It's a holiday coming. Let me have some pie and cake and all the other things.
That was our philosophy.
That was our philosophy before.
So
we splurge and then go back. And Destiny's like, no, we can do this. And so she just got a game plan for us, and and we went for it, man. It was. I was impressed. I was really proud of us to go through that. I really was. It really was.
Yeah. So wasn't there something about each of you brought out like a particular recipe to one of the events? What happened there, Destiny?
Oh, yeah. So each of us, what the plan was, we're going to try a new recipe and we're going to have fun with it and enjoy it. And so what we actually did, we did almost like a potluck. So each of us had to make an HMR recipe and bring it with us. So like the HMR stuffing or the HMR ice cream, the HMR pancakes, the baked mac and cheese. Like we all brought something that we thought was really good and we got to share it with everyone. So it was just trying new flavors, trying new recipes, and staying in the box and having fun. And then we destroyed each other in Uno.
That's right.
We destroyed you guys.
That doesn't comment.
About the HMR, like Destiny said about the Thanksgiving meals. And no, we didn't have extended families coming over. It was us. It was Destiny, us. It was our close nucleus family. We did everything together. So if some people are thinking, well, I got to go see my family for this holiday. I got to see it. Like Destiny said, this is one holiday you have to stay in the box. If you have to miss your family for this one, do it. Do it.
Awesome. Really good advice. What a perspective that is. Do it this one time and hopefully never have to do this again. But
Exactly.
don't undermine your efforts when you're on this weight loss path. By the way, guys, there's just so many comments. You're going to have to rewatch this to see all the comments. Larry, Steve, Jamie, Kathy, Robin, Holly. We can't read them all, but thank you for sharing your thoughts and offering advice, and even some of the questions, which we will get to, if not here during the broadcast, certainly afterwards. I will have us sort of turn the corner here, if we could, guys. But actually, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. Jenny, you were really hot to trot on this in our conversation last Friday. The concept is environmental control. You guys mentioned it earlier. You guys made a decision to clean out the house. So really, it's as simple as this. You can make changes to your environment to reduce how much you have to rely on willpower to say no, or you can rely on willpower to try to say no. So Jenny, tell us a little bit more about what you did, the changes you made, and why, because you talked about the slippery slope too. Why did you make such changes in the environment while you were losing weight and now?
You know what? There's a lot of concepts in HMR that I wasn't used to, and that one of them was environmental control, about being able to have your environment reflect the healthy lifestyle that you want, so you don't have the junk food there to tempt you. Destiny used to say all the time in class, she's like, you can walk by the same cookie on the counter 15 times and have willpower, and that 16th time you're going to eat the cookie, and then that'll probably lead to another cookie. And that's exactly what my life was. And that was us we'll do great during the week, and then weekend we'd mess up, And so it's always about not having enough willpower. And so we thought it was more like we were faulting. We didn't have enough willpower. What we didn't realize is if we changed our environment in that we kept that strong, it made us strong, So the options available on the counter instead of the cookie were our bananas and fruit and things like that. We always had cut up fruit, cut up veggies, things like that were ready to eat and stuff. And that just gave us the willpower, I guess, or the strength to be able to say, oh, you know what, this is exactly what I want. I don't want to go drive in the winter in the snow, go get a cookie from the store. I got stuff right here, and that made a huge change for me because I never ate vegetables.
Nope.
Never. In fact,
you ate French fries.
Yeah.
She had fried rice, and she would pick out the veggies from the fried rice.
Yes, I would spend 15 minutes picking out the veggies from fried rice. Never.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Now most of my meals are vegetarian, and it's completely.
She had 56 servings of vegetables and fruits this week.
Oh my God. She never ate veggies and now it's 50.
Never.
Yeah.
Tastes are learned.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
And it's
I
behavior
like that,
modification, and she's always been big on not just having a vegetable, but let's try variety, let's try different recipes. And the big game changer is she worked with me, and I realized that I'm a texture eater. So she's like, well, try putting it in the air fryer, different things. Total game changer for me. I use that air fryer like it's going out of style now for all my veggies and stuff, and I love it, But it was the fact that she was willing to not just eat your veggies, just eat your veggies. It was, okay, let's find ways. Let's find ones you like. Let's find ways to prepare it that are pleasing to you, so I look forward to them. And it's not a chore, I actually enjoy it, So
kind of like what Bill has taught me so well in my phase 2 class, that velvet glove accountability,
Yeah.
how do we lead with that velvet glove?
Yeah. What a great term that is. Like accountability sounds like on the face of it negative, right? Like, ugh, I got to be held accountable for this. That's a bummer. But it's like accountability works.
Yeah,
yes,
it does.
it really does. And that's the power of phase 2, I think.
Yeah.
It's also the power of the meetings going back every week, because you have to be accountable to the people in there also, that you did everything right. Your name's on the board. You got the whole thing. You got to be accountable to your coach. So it's everybody. That's what's so important about those weekly meetings.
It's great. And just
showing up even when you did bad that week and still showing up to face another week.
Because it wasn't, they didn't hammer you. It was like, okay, let's strategize. Okay, you gained weight. You know why you gained the weight. It's being honest with yourself and accountable to yourself to say, yeah, I did this. And then, okay, now how can we do better? So it kind of repurposed you instead of made you feel bad about yourself, and it gave you a fresh start.
Yeah. Beautifully said. Really well said. And just for people, you kind of slipped that term in there, Destiny, but my brother had shared this separate, and then you had brought it up with me. But one of his clients said one of the things that works so well for him about HMR is that we provide velvet glove accountability. So for my fellow health coaches, Sandy, Kate, everyone who's watching, isn't that a great term? Velvet glove accountability. Accountability works. We know it's hard. Join us and choose to be accountable. And we just, who knows where we can take things. It's just such an awesome term. I love that you brought that up, Destiny. All right, so guys, you had, Jazy, did you have Destiny in class as a coach?
I did.
Okay.
And
So
she
here's
still
the question.
does.
This is where the rubber meets the road, guys. In the exact polar opposite of velvet glove accountability, I suspect she was pretty tough with you guys based on some of the things that you said last Friday in our pre-conversation. So Destiny, just real quick, first of all, one of the tough things that you had to do was Tony had invited one of his friends, Anthony, to lose weight with him, and he was in the class. So, sometimes these things happen. Take us through what the unfortunate measures you had to take in the classroom with these two.
Yes. So I love my job. And there's moments where it's so funny and it's such a funny moment and beautiful. But then there's moments where I'm like, guys, I have a short amount of time to get through this topic. I need you to behave.
Right.
And so his friend did the program, Anthony did the program with him, and they were in the same class. And gosh, there was this one time where they would not stop goofing off and separating you two. And so I literally had to separate him and Anthony in class. They were doing too much, and they would still talk across the room. I'm like, so that's the humor out of my job.
That's great. That's great. So here's the question for the three of you. Destiny, obviously, maybe took some shortcuts with you guys. She was tough in class. She was tough in general. And this is actually a serious question. Destiny being tough as your coach, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
We couldn't.
Tony, why thumbs up? Why?
You know what? One thing I noticed about Destiny in class, I'll tell you this, and not because she's just one of my great kids, one of them, but she was like, no matter the personalities, different personalities in the classroom. Some people need to be soft, she needed to be softer with, and she blended with that. Some, me and Anthony, she needed to be hard with, and she was hard with us. So she, by her being so, I won't say tough, mean tough, but her being so, hey, this is what we're gonna do. I needed that. I needed that because I'm the guy to make, I know what I'm doing. But every week she'd be like, hey, this is what we need to stay focused on. And she was in my face, not the negative kind, but she made me listen. She didn't throw any bars at us. But she was firm, and I needed that. I really did. She did make it a fun environment. So me and Anthony going in there, we felt relaxed. But yeah, we got too relaxed a lot of times. But she was right back to just, hey, we got this to get done. Let's get it done.
It's awesome. Awesome. Jenny, what would you add? You were a thumbs up on that.
It's great because I had every excuse under the sun. You name it, I could think of a reason why I didn't want to do something. And she would just, instead of saying, going toe to toe with you, she would be like, oh, that's interesting, but have we thought of this? Have we thought of this? And she'd give you enough strategies, different strategies, and then she'd incorporate the class, different strategies. So it's like, okay, I just got 15 different strategies. How can I say I can't do something when they already told me, oh, I've been through that. Here's 15 ways to get out of it. I'm like, oh, fine, I'll do it. So that's why I like that she was firm, because she was firm in the way that it was about solution finding, and it wasn't about just do what I say without any type of anything to back it up. It was nope, awesome. This solution works.
Awesome, great job, Destiny. Now, Jazy, you can be honest here. Was she easier on you because you were the little sister?
No, not at all. She wasn't as tough on me as she was my dad, but she didn't let excuses go by. She knew I was someone that if I want an excuse, I'd have one ready. So she cut that off at the knees. An example of one was when I'm sick, I want crackers and like Sprite, like every other person. And she was like, oh, that's really cool. What can we use in our box? Does that. And that was kind of a big wake up call of being like, okay, yeah, I'm in it. I got it.
Really. So just way to be on point with the acknowledgement, but then you brought the, you kissed him and you brought the carrot, but then you brought the stick.
There you go. That's exactly right.
It was really not Destiny and Drill Sergeant Destiny.
And you got the look sometimes when we were goofing off too much. We got the look. I'd always point to Anthony. Okay. Me, Destiny.
All right, so we're going to wind this down now with one final question. And just for context, people watch these events for lots of reasons. They want to feel more connected to the program, for the support that these events provide, to be more connected to the community. Tips and strategies. I mean, we certainly hit on the more is better, the physical activity and the environmental control here. But people also watch, guys, just to be motivated and to support them in keeping it all going. And sometimes not just motivation, even inspiration. So I said this up front, but I want to come back to the idea of hope. So you guys have, a unique situation, but, independent of the family affair factor, how do you feel about keeping up the lifestyle changes and staying in the driver's seat with managing your weight going forward now? Do you have a hopeful message? Do you feel hopeful about it? Tony, start us off here.
I really do. I mean, I think Jennifer said it earlier, Jazy, said it earlier, the way HMR works, it changes your mindset about food. It changes your mindset on how to eat, what you need to eat. And it gives you those control habits, those self-control habits, instead of, I don't know, just right now, I make better decisions. It's just simple as that. Sometimes I want a bag of chips. I don't have a bag of chips. It's just, I can't really tell you, how do I say, my mindset behind it. But I will tell you this: the HMR stuck with me. It just trained me from the beginning. That it didn't teach me how to say, didn't have me so restrictive on everything. So now that I know, if I start putting on the weight, I just go back to the box. It's simple.
Nice, simple and clear. Jazy, what about you? The idea, you've got me back here. That's clear from the picture and from your comments. Do you feel hopeful about it?
I do. I used to be so scared of hitting those milestone years, 25, 30. I hear things don't go back after that. But now I just feel more control. I know that I can keep growing in my body. I can keep strengthening it, feeding it the right things. I've got it.
Oh, that's really well said. Thanks for that. Jenny, wrap it up here in terms of your spin on this question. How do you feel about things going forward?
Well, I like the concept of there's never a perfect time. There's never a perfect situation. There's never the perfect finances. It's grow where you're planted. And I think this is an absolute great program for that concept. So everyone thinks they have to, I have to, before I can do PA, I have to have this, or I have to do that. No, you can always find something. You can always, if you have to do it in a chair, if you have to, do something. And so there's always something you can eat. There's always something you can do. So you feel like you're always progressing, even if it's not leaps and bounds like he did in, just 6 weeks or whatever. Mine took a lot longer, but I knew everything I was doing was a progress. And even if it didn't show up on the scale that week, it didn't devastate me because I knew what I was doing. I knew the program worked. I knew if I just keep doing this, whatever it was, I was going to have results. And now it's the same with phase 2. If I just keep doing this and I still go to phase 2, I still get strategies because life happens, like COVID happened, and thank God I learned these strategies before COVID, because I walked out of COVID even smaller than I did before going in. And it's just like, that never would have happened, and it's amazing because it gives you that hope and understanding that there's even better things to come. I'm excited about this part, but this is just where I'm planted right now. I'm growing from here. So that it just gives you so much more hope in what the next year is going to be, and whatever comes up, I'm going to be able to handle it because I've got the strategies, and it's just, it makes life more exciting, to be perfectly honest.
I hear that in your voice. And that is just a really inspirational and positive point to end on. Fantastic. Really, really well said. I think I'd be remiss though, Destiny, we've just heard from your extraordinary family here. I'll have it end here with, what are your thoughts about the work they've done?
So actually my thoughts are, I just looking at the before pictures, just to go to that, I won't ramble. I do that often, but looking at the before pictures, I don't remember them that way. That was the old them. And I see them as the healthier, more confident, more determined and passionate people than they were before. And being a part of that, and being a part of my family getting pins, like 25 and 50-pound pins, and being the one to actually give it to them, and being a part of that journey.
Yeah.
I get emotional about it because I just want to, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I'm so proud and amazed, and there's nothing else that they can't do. There's nothing they can't do because of this.
That's exactly right. And you know what, Destiny, it's worth getting emotional about. If not this, then what?
Exactly.
Fantastic. Hey guys, you've been an inspiration. It's been a joy. It'll be a tragedy if you don't come back and be guests again. So I'm going to be asking you to rejoin at some point in the future. Thank you for sharing your story and for bringing us into your lives even a little bit as you've done here. Really, really generous. And so thank you for that. And I say that on behalf of the whole community. It's been just a blast talking to you tonight. And I'll just end by speaking to our audience. Thank you for spending your time with us in this space. We hope this conversation has been motivating and useful as you continue to press forward in the process and the never-ending process of living and practicing a healthy lifestyle. So thanks again for being here. And with that, we're out. Have a good week. And we'll see you next Thursday night. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.